Welcome to Backseat Directing.
Where we talk about movies, TV shows, comics, and more.
We're your hosts,
Matt Murdock
and Daredevil.
And today we have a new kind of segment that we're calling Let's Talk.
3, 2, 1, action. All right, Andrew, we have a kind of different episode today. We're calling it Let's Talk, and the reason we're doing that is because we're just talking. We have a bunch of things on our mind, a lot of TV shows, movies, video games, stuff that we want to chat about. So we're going to kind of smash it all into one episode and just kind of have a good time.
Yeah, and before we get too far into that, I'm going to address the question that's probably lingering in the viewers' minds if they're on YouTube. Arron and I, the reason that we are dressed up is because this episode is coming out right before Halloween. We're going to be talking about some Marvel news. We're going to be talking about all kinds of things that are going on right now in our Let's Talk segment. So we are dressed up as Matt Murdock and Daredevil respectively from our favorite appearance in the Netflix series. We're just getting into it. This episode's coming out, like I said, right before Halloween, so we're getting to the spirit.
I didn't know that you were dressed up. I'm just wearing what I wear at night.
Yeah, and honestly, I'm having trouble reading my notes already because these aren't my regular glasses.
Oh, you're having
I can't
trouble
see
seeing?
through.
You can't see anything?
Not as
Come on, man. Come on.
Not as bad as you, but
I guess we are really channeling our Matt Murdock spirit and Daredevil spirit. So let's kind of dive right into it. I'm curious to know what you want to talk about. I have some things on my list. I know a few of the things that you want to talk about. You know a few of the things I want to talk about. But there's some things that we haven't really hinted at each other yet. So, Andrew, why don't you go ahead and start us off with what you want to talk about first?
Okay. Do you want an overview of the things I'm going to discuss?
We can go one at a time. I'm down.
Okay. All right. So one of the big things that I was very excited for was a video game called Gotham Knights. I was very pumped for Gotham Knights. It's this game that's coming out. It'll be coming out the day after this episode airs. Or no, it's coming out a week before this episode. So it's coming out October 21st. For me, right now, it's coming out this Friday. And it seems really great. So the game is its own original story. It's following the death of Bruce Wayne, or Batman. The 4 other members of the Bat family in this timeline have to take up the mission of saving Gotham with Batman now gone. It's going to be Dick Grayson's Nightwing, Tim Drake's Robin. It's going to be Barbara Gordon's Batgirl and Jason Todd's Red Hood. And this is not a continuation, although it might be confusing for some, not a continuation of the Arkham Knight storyline, the most recent game of the Arkham series. This is going to be made by WB Montreal, who, although they did make Arkham Origins, are making a completely separate continuity game here. So Gotham Knights is its own continuity, its own game, not following up the Arkham series. It is not made by Rocksteady. So it's just going to be standalone. It's going to tell its own story. It's going to have those four playable characters I mentioned. There is a 2-player online co-op option where you and a friend from separate consoles can play together as 2 of those 4 characters, complete missions together. This game has something really, really cool about it, which is that the online co-op is like super advanced. So like the way it works is you can hop, if I'm a host, you can hop into my game. And although we might be separate levels in different places in the game, it'll scale our abilities to each other and scale the enemies that we're fighting to match that ability that we're meeting at. And it'll also let us play a mission together. Whereas if I'm ahead of you, you can come up and play my mission. And then when you go back to your game and reach that point in your story, it'll give you a pop-up that says, do you want to replay this mission? I see you've played it with a friend previously. And then you can choose yes or no if you want to play.
That's pretty cool. It doesn't sound like as cool of a superhero universe as we are in, but it still sounds fun.
Yeah, it sounds cool in theory. I feel like it could be very buggy, so we'll see how it plays out with the servers and everything once the game starts. Because it's supposed to be completely seamless co-op where you could just play on the other side of Gotham City and I can play on my side.
You know, that does sound really appealing. So I'm not a big video game person. I like video games, but it kind of takes a lot for me to kind of get invested into a video game. And I know you've been kind of bugging me if I'm going to get it and stuff. But the co-op feature does sound like a lot of fun, especially if we, or people listening, grab a friend and start the game from the same part and just kind of play the whole game together. That sounds fun to me. You know, that,
yeah.
Oh, like I'm hanging out with my friend while doing this, opposed to me like finding time on my own to actually play this game, which I don't tend to always do with video games. Now, I did notice in the beginning that you said you were excited for this game. Are you not still?
Something I noticed that might make it kind of hard for you and I to have the co-op experience together during my research is that...
You sounded more excited about this a few days ago when you were talking to me.
This game is next generation consoles only.
No.
Whereas neither of us have a PS5. So we will not have the chance to play this game unless we get a PS5 in the next couple of days. And they're so hard to get a hold of. I was so excited for this game. I don't know how I didn't know this until recently.
I know you've been messaging me and talking to me about this game for like 2 weeks nonstop. Like, hey, you gonna get it? Are you gonna get it? And it's like, Andrew, I already told you. I'll play it once someone tells me it's really good.
And I've been excited about it for longer than that too. I just didn't know.
Yeah. Man. Well, that sucks.
But enough about my reason to be sad.
That ruins your weekend plans, huh?
Hey, there's still Black Adam, so no crying over spilt milk. But what is something that you wanted to talk about?
All right. The first thing I want to talk about is Jonathan Majors is freaking jacked. And I did not know this. So he plays King the Conqueror in the upcoming Avengers series. And he's also in Loki. And he is in Creed 3 that's coming out, I believe, next year. And I saw a video on YouTube about him with Men's Health going over his back workout or something like that. And I was like, that's the guy from Loki? Oh my God, he's huge.
Yeah,
I had no idea from watching Loki that he was as jacked as he is. And it's not like he just transformed for Creed. Like, it takes time to look how he looks. And he is ripped but has a lot of size, and I didn't know that.
Yeah, I had no clue also. And I didn't even know until recently when you showed me the trailer. And I see why they targeted a back workout by Men's Health, because his lats are insane. Like, he's so wide.
Dude,
even from
crazy.
A front angle view, like, it's wild.
Yeah, I watched that video last night. You should check it out. They had some good stuff. I mean, they were just doing some supersets and stuff, which is where you go from one movement to the other that's working different muscles. But yeah, they were just kind of going back and forth between two different movements at a time. They said that they do a 2-body part split every other day or something like that, which is a solid workout, you know, especially to build muscle like he is going for. Yeah, he's jacked.
Yeah, it's like you said, that would be a crazy transformation if he was like a normal weight guy and then to that size in such a short amount of time. So he had to have been in really good shape.
Yeah, for sure. And I don't know too much about his background, like if he played sports or anything. I'd like to kind of look into more to that, but right now I can't quite see.
The Creed movies are like setting like a huge precedent for like size in movies. Like Marvel movies have built up like how big you have to be for your role with Chris Hemsworth and Chris Evans and all that. But like Michael B. Jordan too in that movie, and how do I pronounce his name? Majors.
Yeah, Jonathan.
They're both like ridiculously in good shape. They're
both in the MCU as well. Michael B. Jordan was.
Who isn't that?
Yeah, for real.
But speaking of the MCU, that could be a good segue into one of our topics.
Okay, you got something else?
Yeah, we were going to talk about a recap on She-Hulk.
Oh,
which
yeah,
would have
that show, huh?
huge spoilers because this show just ended the other week. So fair game, fair warning to everyone that we're going to be talking about the ending of the show here.
Yeah. Well, our friend Matt Murdock and Daredevil had a lot of fun in that series. You know what I mean?
You completely forgot about Karen Page.
Yeah.
Karen who?
You're right. Or Elektra or any of his girls. He's quite the ladies' man, isn't he?
He is, yeah. And don't forget about Night Nurse, too, Claire.
Yeah.
So what did you think about the show as your final wrapping thoughts with it closing?
Overall, it's not my favorite show. It had some good parts about it, but it just didn't really hold my attention very much. And I think it was more so because, so it's an episodic episode, right? Where it's one episode is kind of one complete story, and it's not really as interlinked as some of the other Disney Plus shows are, to where those are more of just a longer form movie, which has its own downfalls and benefits as well. But it just didn't really, I just didn't really get connected to the story at all. Like there wasn't, even in the individual episodes, I felt like not a lot happened. Probably 6 episodes in, I still didn't really know who, like, what's the goal here, who's the bad guys, what's kind of going on. I think the season ended really strong. I liked that Daredevil was in it. It's a maybe slightly different version of Daredevil than what we're used to seeing. He was a little more acrobatic, which we did kind of our recap of that specific episode with Daredevil showing up. So you can go check that out and listen to that video podcast. But yeah, the last episode, she kind of like breaks out into chaos, and everyone's juiced up on Hulk serum now, and there's like 4 different Hulks in one room, and it's all going crazy, and she's like breaking the fourth wall, telling us as the audience that, hey, this is crazy, isn't it? It's not really making sense. And I was kind of thinking the whole time that the show didn't really make any sense, so it was good that she agreed with me. And then she kind of busted out of Disney Plus and went to the headquarters there, which I thought was interesting. You know, I didn't know how to feel about it right away, but I do know that last episode had my full attention the entire time, and I was interested to know like what was going to happen next, and I found myself laughing a little bit more at that episode and being a little more confused and anticipating what was going to happen next. So I liked the ending of the show. I think it ended strong. Seeing Kevin as the robot was kind of funny and clever. She kind of, which I know this is kind of your critique, she kind of undid everything from the season that was happening, you know, by fixing it with the AI version of Kevin Feige. And yeah, what did you think?
I really hate to like, I don't want to have negative things to say about it because I don't want to be associated with a community of Marvel haters that people are putting into a box right now, which I do think there's a lot of unnecessary Marvel hate. A lot of people who have maybe too high expectations, or are like putting previous Marvel stages on a pedestal in a way, and I don't want to be associated with that. But I feel like She-Hulk, the final episode, kind of undid a lot of the things that I liked about the show. I mean, I enjoyed it being episodic. I enjoyed it being a comedy. Like, it was like a sitcom. It was like an episode by episode comedy. It was about her balancing her work life with her love life with being superhuman. It had a lot of like human elements and real struggles that people go through, like trying to find like a decent person in the dating world, like trying to get respect in the workplace. It had a lot of real struggles, like not just for people, but especially focusing in on the struggles for women too. And I loved all that, but the final episode, I did not like the final episode, and it hurt the way that I thought about the show as a whole. I felt like I like the fourth wall breaking. I like it when Deadpool does it. I like it. Daredevil on the brain. I like when Deadpool breaks the fourth wall. I like when Harley Quinn breaks the fourth wall in the Birds of Prey movie. And for the majority of the show, I like when She-Hulk breaks the fourth wall. but I just felt like it was too meta. Like they went too far, and that is probably something a lot of people are saying right now. I don't think I'm like unique for saying that, but it was like a hat on a hat. Like she broke out into the real world, right? And she's talking to the director. She's talking to, why did Kevin have to be a robot? Couldn't they get Kevin Feige to show up for a few minutes for one episode? I thought that was...
He's too busy trying to fix the Blade movie.
Well, hopefully that's true. But I feel like it was too far. Like, and then like she's also winking to the audience about the idea of like getting the X-Men in. So she's winking to the audience after she's already broken into the real world. So that's like a hat on a hat. That's meta on top of being meta. And I was like at first, like you said, I was like kind of confused when it started happening, like neutrally confused. And then I started to be confused, like what is happening? Like why is this going this far? And like, I get it. She's going to be the writer of her own story and there's some good empowerment aspects in there, but I just didn't like the way they went about it. Like she just Photoshop deleted everything that happened in the season, I get that she's saying that stealing the blood aspect is repetitive and derivative of previous aspects of Marvel, but like that's what they chose to write into the show. And then they just backed out of it. Like if every show could just back out of their ending by just, I'm delete, like there'd be no point in watching the middle of the show.
I see where you're coming from. I mean, I think you enjoyed the show more than I did. I don't overly like comedy sitcom shows as it is. So this kind of version of Marvel's type of shows just isn't my like type of show, you know?
Yeah.
So
that's fair.
I feel like that's just my biggest critique is that like it's just not the kind of show that I'm as interested in.
Which isn't really even necessarily a critique, you know? It's just different strokes for different folks.
Yeah, exactly.
But before we move on to something else, I do want to do kind of like a compliment sandwich. So like I had the compliment for the show and then I have my critiques for the show, which to me still hold very true and strong. But I'm going to end it with a compliment too, saying that I personally loved Tatiana Maslany in this role and as She-Hulk and Jennifer Walters. She, like I said when we reviewed the first episode, super charismatic. She makes great facial expression. She's just like appealing to see on screen. I loved her getting with my boy Matt Murdock. That was great. I just think she's really good for the role, and if I was going to change anything about the show, it would definitely not be her. I think she's great.
I agree with that.
I haven't heard anybody complain about her as Jennifer Walters. So.
If you've listened this far, thank you so much. We post a new episode every Monday and Thursday. So go ahead and give us a like, a follow, a comment, share us with a friend.
Yeah, rate and review the show. Let us know what you like and don't like. Let us know if you hate our costumes or if you love them.
Yeah. Even though we're like technically the same person right now, we're not 100%
in sync. Hey, I just finished your sentence.
Maybe it's... Ooh. Are you pointing at me?
No.
Dang it. Man, for anyone listening, they're probably so confused. So, I know we said it kind of in the beginning, but I'm wearing a Daredevil like hood over my head here, so I can't see a thing. And then Andrew's got some red glasses on that Matt Murdock wears. Yeah, and, Andrew can't see without his actual glasses, and now everything has a red tint. So we're both kind of
visually impaired.
Yeah, exactly.
If you're watching the YouTube video, and Arron, when you're editing this footage later, you'll be delighted to see that earlier in the episode I was swinging my cane in front of your face, and you had no reaction because he is completely blind right now.
No. I knew it was there, but I knew you weren't going to hit me, so I didn't move.
Oh yeah, you could sense it.
Yep, exactly. If you hit me, I'm going to throw this at you.
All right, Arron, what's your next topic for our Let's Talk session?
Bro, have you watched any of Andor?
Not a single second.
Dude, what is going on with us? So I watched the first, I think, 4 episodes. And I'll say that I'm like moderately invested. And I know a lot of people were praising this when it like first came out, the first week, 3 episodes dropped. Everyone loved it. They're like, oh, this is the Star Wars series that we've been waiting for. You know, it's all like, it's like grounded and rugged, and it's got that like kind of spy aspect that Rogue One had. And I don't know, I'm just not 100% into it. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's because to me, Star Wars is about the Jedi. So like when the Jedi aren't involved, like I don't really care you know, because then it's just kind of like a regular sci-fi show to me. So maybe that's it, and I'm just not invested.
Do you like Mandalorian?
I do like Mandalorian.
No, that doesn't have really. I mean, for the most part, doesn't have Jedi. So
no, maybe he's more of an interesting character. I don't know. I mean, so I watched Mandalorian, but I watched the first like 4 episodes and then stopped when the first season came out. And then only went back to rewatch the season and finish it when the second season came out and everyone at work was talking about it.
Yeah.
So it's not like I was 100% like every week it was dropping. I was like, oh, I can't wait for this, you know?
Yeah.
So it's, I don't know. Maybe I feel like too when there's a Star Wars show or movie that's like the world is so big at this point. It's like, man, I must be missing something, you know?
Yeah, I think my problem in general is that I don't get as excited for Star Wars content as I think a lot of people do. I like Star Wars, but it's not my favorite franchise. And the other day I tried to get myself to start the first episode of Andor, and I wanted to watch anything else. I mean, I've been really into other things lately. I've been really into watching Cobra Kai. You know that. Because I've been watching it for the first time. But
well, let's talk about Cobra Kai a little bit.
Yeah, I don't even have Cobra Kai in my notes, but I am in love with that show.
That's what this podcast is all about today. You know, let's just talk, Andrew.
I so badly for Halloween wanted to be Hawk from Cobra Kai, and there's a gi online that I saw for like $32 as a Cobra Kai gi.
Nice.
And it's the cool one with the black and yellow.
Were you gonna like gel your hair up?
Yes, but we have a family. We have a family costume going where we're going to be Marvel characters. So I love Daredevil. I mean, Daredevil's not really a step down in any way, but I'm really into Cobra Kai right now. It's a really well done show. Like, surprisingly, I think there's some like campy, cheesy aspects, but it's based on an 80s movie. So, I mean, it really seems like it would be on purpose. Yeah. And
they balance it though.
Yeah.
You know, to where like not every single minute is campy and cheesy. Like they balance it with good relationships and good action scenes.
Yeah, I think there's legitimately good writing, and I think the dialogue in the show is really strong.
Yeah, I agree.
To where, for the most part, like when children are written by adults, sometimes the dialogue can be pretty corny. Especially they try to introduce phrases or like they'll have them like dab or something, you know, like 3 years after people are no longer doing that. But like, I think it's pretty well done. I mean, I'm an adult now, so I could be super wrong, but I think that the dialogue sounds good. Like the relationship, especially to me, between Johnny and Miguel, I think is really good. I love it. Like I you know, and as a viewer of the show, I like live and die for that. I like when their relationship's in trouble is when I'm the most upset. But Hawk is definitely my favorite character.
What season are you on?
I'm on the last season now. I started it. So I started the show.
5 seasons, right?
Yeah, I started the show about a week and a half ago, and we're almost finished with season 5 as of this morning.
You guys are cranking out episodes.
When I really like a show, I can crank them out. But who is your favorite character when you watch the show?
I'm trying to think back. It's been a little. I think I only got through season 2. I don't know. I probably just gonna be basic and go with the main character kid.
Miguel.
What's his name? No, I guess the other one.
Robbie?
Yeah.
Really? At that point in the show, I did not like Robbie.
No?
I'm surprised that you would pick him.
Why didn't you like him?
I don't know. I just thought Robbie was kind of like always on the wrong side of where I like, because I was big on rooting for Cobra Kai, and I didn't find Robbie to be that interesting of a character, I guess. He at times seems kind of whiny to me.
They all kind of did.
Yeah, I mean, they're kids, so I guess that aspect's realistic. But Hawk was like just so tough and cool, and his transformation too.
Yeah,
the way they play that rock music, and it comes in for a lot of like Hawk's big moments. Mm-hmm. I think Johnny's a really good character too. I like Johnny Lawrence a lot in the show, but I like the way that they don't go soft on making Hawk like a bad person. Like his character arc is good. He transforms into like an actual bad person. Like that's real character development, you know?
Yeah, just in the opposite way
of where it should be. Yeah. But you got to watch more of the show though. But yeah. They do really good arcs. They make sure for the most part everybody gets good screen time.
You saw the original Karate Kid, right?
Yeah. I love the original Karate Kid. I really like the Jaden Smith movie as well with Jackie Chan.
I really enjoy that one too.
Yeah.
I like that one a lot. I know you've been watching some anime. Tell me about it.
So there are two new shows that are really popular right now. So the first one is Chainsaw Man, which is a name that'll probably turn a lot of people away from the show right away. It's kind of a goofy sounding name, but the show is really well animated. So it's made by Mappa. Mappa Studio makes Attack on Titan and Jujutsu Kaisen, which are two of the best animated shows around. So you're getting a visually quality show right off the bat. There's only 2 episodes so far, but it has a 9.1 rating on IMDb. So that's pretty stellar. It's kind of the concept of the show is in this world where there are demons or devils. They call them devils. There are devil hunters who kill the devils and kind of rid the world of these monsters that kill humans. And the main character is in like a lot of debt left behind by his father. So he's forced to be a devil hunter to try and make money. He sells I think he sells his kidney. He sells one of his eyes. He's just like trying to get out of this hole of debt that he's in. And it's very well animated. I won't say anything to like spoil it so far. That's just kind of the opening of the show. But it has kind of this 3D aspect to the animation, which is very uncommon in anime. Anime is very two-dimensional. So in certain scenes, you can see it. It reminds me of shows like Ajin. The animation quality in terms of their use of movement and the flow of movement definitely reminds me of Jujutsu Kaisen and even Demon Slayer, Demon Slayer is kind of hailed right now as like the best animated anime. So that show seems like it's on track to be really good. I like it so far. I don't like it nearly as much so far as the other anime that I'm going to talk about.
I have a question.
Yes.
So, at least all the animes that you've talked about to me, they all seem to have like a 9 out of 10 or above on IMDb. Is there animes that are not ranked that high? And do they just rate these differently than most TV shows and movies and stuff? Because they all seem like really, really high.
No, there's tons of animes that aren't going to be rated that high. They're like, so anime is like a huge genre with like hundreds of thousands of shows, hundreds and thousands. But there's romance anime, there's sports anime, there's action, classic shonen. It's like, when you have American TV, there's all the different genres. So there's shows that are rated really poorly.
Okay.
I think they're rated on the same scale, but because I'm not maybe as in-depth of a fan as some anime fans, I tend to be talking about and watching the ones that are really highly reviewed by other people.
Off the top of your head, is there any that are like kind of the middle of the pack that you enjoy in terms of ratings?
I'm going to check the rating.
Just the tip of the iceberg kind of guy.
I'm not only I watch some shows that aren't as popular. The first one that I thought of was Kuroko. So there's a show called Kuroko's Basketball. It's a sports anime about basketball. And if I had to guess, that one probably has not the highest ratings, probably maybe a 7. Let's find out. Okay. Oh, it has an 8.3. That's pretty good. Yeah. That's not bad. That show's really good.
What did She-Hulk have?
Oof. Let's find out.
I know it's comparing apples to oranges.
It's tough being on the spot, though, trying to think of an anime that... this is a short. Why does that come up first? This 2008 short comes up first.
For She-Hulk?
Yeah.
Weird.
When you search it on IMDb. And then She-Hulk Attorney at Law's below that. Oof, has a 5.1.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know. I have a hard time thinking of like what I would expect to be a poorly rated anime. I mean... all of these shows that I can think of right now are popular, like Fire Force, Jujutsu Kaisen, Parasite. Like, they're all probably going to be rated.
So staying on the theme with anime, I know you have another one that you're excited about, and you actually showed me the trailer before we started this podcast. Why don't you talk about that one a little bit too?
So that show, yeah, I'm really, really into that show right now. So that's why I wanted to show you the trailer. This anime is called Blue Lock.
Lock or Luck?
Blue Lock. Lock like lock and key. Gotcha. And I think that it is an intriguing title because it doesn't tell you anything about the show. It's seemingly 2 random words. What the name Blue Lock is it's a facility. So it's a training facility for soccer players. This is, and hold on, before you change the channel, it is a soccer anime, but it's very, very well animated. And so far, the voice acting is incredible. The story to me is really interesting. The themes of the story are about following your dreams and wanting to be the best at all cost. So it's kind of resonant, to most people. People want to be the best. People want to achieve. And the idea of the story is that Japan's, soccer team has not done well in World Cups. So they're trying to find what they think is missing piece, which is a striker. So they take the best.
For the non-soccer fans out there, what's a striker? And before everyone in the audience thinks I'm not a soccer fan, I used to be a striker.
Okay.
But Andrew, tell us what.
Well, you could probably explain it better than I could then, because I used to be a midfielder.
Oh, okay.
So
no. I want you to talk about it.
So in soccer, there's basically a few main positions. You got your defense, your midfielders, and your forwards, which could also be called a striker. So the forwards, strikers are predominantly playing offense. They're staying on the
opposite team side of the field
so
most of the time.
Furthest back they'll probably go is midline. Soccer's mostly about possession. So if a striker has a ball, then they're looking for an opportunity to get a pass to score or to shoot. So they are the primary scorers for any given soccer team.
Let's go. So
it's a very important role.
I will say that this anime, you said Blue Lock?
Yes.
Sounds pretty interesting to me. And seeing the trailer, it looked pretty cool. We did watch Attack on Titan, and I liked the animation of it. We only watched 2 episodes, but I'm not like dying to watch the next one.
I think Blue Lock's animation is a little bit more dynamic. I think it would hold your attention a little bit better, but I want to show you something with a dub. I feel the urge to show you something with a dub.
Yeah, I'd be down to keep giving Attack on Titan more, but I don't really want to watch it by myself. Like, I have no desire to really watch it by myself. But I do like that this one is about soccer. I feel like that's kind of, I don't know, it's interesting to me since I played soccer for so long and stuff. And it's kind of nostalgic to me in a way.
And anime is always super intense into the 10th degree. So these soccer players are going to be treating it like it's life or death. Yeah. But to finish the summation of what the show's about, so they have this facility called Blue Lock, where they take the top, I believe it's 300 strikers in Japan, and they take all these young strikers, put them in the same facility, and they're forced to compete against each other. Eliminated competitors have to go home, and they'll never play professional soccer in Japan. And the players who move forward are going to keep going until there's only one player left, and that player is going to get a spot on the national team. They're expecting to narrow it down to the ultimate player so that they can have a winning team at the World Championship. They believe that what their team is missing is ego and a powerful striker. So they're trying to build the ego of these young players to where all they want is to score and to win, and they believe in themselves more than they even believe in their team.
I would be down to watch that one. That one sounds fun.
It's the animation. I love the animation. Like the movement and their use of colors is just a great time. I don't know, like, this studio who animated it's called 8-Bit, and I hadn't heard of them before, but they animate some other shows that I've heard of and that I've heard good things about. Shows called That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime, and also The Irregular at Magic High. They animated an arc of that show and a movie in that show. But so far, Blue Lock only has 2 episodes, and this is all I've seen from this studio is 2 episodes of Blue Lock. But it's really incredible. And another well-animated series, Blue Lock has an 8.5 out of 10 on IMDb. But this studio, I would love to watch more of their stuff, because Blue Lock is phenomenal off just 2 episodes. I didn't expect to fall in love with it. I was like, a friend of mine, Keegan, suggested it to me, and I started watching it, and then they were like, Keegan and Sierra were trying to talk to me, and I was like, what? I'm in the middle of watching.
Leave me alone.
I'm watching art right now.
All right.
But do you have any other topics on your list?
I have a few, actually. Let's see. Where do I want to go? Let's go with this one. Kind of staying with animation, if you will. Have you seen the kind of Invincible clues that they're leaving on their Twitter?
This is me. I have not. Tell me about them.
All right. So
I don't have Twitter.
I don't either, but I saw this on TikTok, and I was like, oh, I should look into this.
We sound so old.
I know.
I don't have Twitter.
No. We're young. We're on TikTok, not Twitter.
Yeah.
We're young.
What's Facebook?
Yeah, I don't know. But if you do have Facebook, follow us.
Oh, yeah.
Because we're on Facebook. All right, so Invincible posted on October 11th, so like last week, 2 weeks ago. No, 7 days ago, so a week ago, at the time of recording this. They posted this January is going to be the 20 years of Invincible. And then they said a thread is coming your way. So they announced a few different things. An all new like edition of Invincible 1, like with the cover. They have a black and white cover. They have a different cover for one of the compendiums, which looks pretty cool. Pretty sure it's done by our boy Ryan Otley.
Yeah.
It looks pretty cool. I wish you could see this, but Matt Murdock can't see. And then they said that they're blah, blah, blah. That's not important. All right, right here. They said, and finally, in January, there will be a reacted by Cecil Stedman of the Global Defense Agency.
Which, to people who maybe aren't that familiar, don't remember, Cecil Stedman is the head of like basically the CIA in that universe, the Global Defense Agency. So it's kind of a tease for us of what they might have said. What do you think they would have said in that?
I'm thinking we might get a trailer for season 2.
You think it's just a trailer?
Yeah. Do you think we're gonna get the season?
I mean, if we were, they'd have to put the trailer out
first.
Soon.
Yeah.
Like in the next month.
Yeah. I think it's probably, it can't be that good, right? Like, we can't be blessed with a new season of Invincible in January. Come on.
I still think that it could be the date for the show could be the date from that TikTok. The other.
What date was that? Do you remember?
It was in July of next year.
July? Yeah. That sounds about right. That's a good summer show.
Because they just not too long ago finished wrapping up the voice work.
Yeah.
So
I feel like maybe we'll get a trailer or a teaser of some sort, especially it being like a anniversary of Invincible. So that'd be cool. I know you like Invincible, and you're missing seeing it on the screen of our home TVs.
It's cool, all the comic stuff that they're doing for fans too for the 20-year anniversary, like all the original cover and things.
Honestly, the
black and white cover
looks pretty cool.
The alternate cover.
Yeah, it's got Unmin in the back, kind of faded out with Invincible flying forward with a big right hook, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, I am always excited for Invincible news, and their Twitter page seems like a good place to go if you want to like look for Easter eggs. They seem like they're hinting at something. They're doing something behind the scenes.
Yeah, it seems like they're most active on Twitter. So, like, I haven't seen that much on any other platforms from them. I could be totally wrong. But, yeah.
I'm trying to find a piece of Marvel news that I lost. But
I have some Marvel news.
Hit me with the next topic.
Yeah, so Harrison Ford is going to be Thunderbolt Ross in Captain America 4.
Ooh, I love me some Harrison Ford. Harrison Ford obviously goes back decades as the man, as Indiana Jones and Han Solo. So I think that he would crush it in this role. Like, it is kind of sad that we lost William Hurt.
Yeah.
I think he was like really great for that role as well. Like, he's who I picture when I think of Thunderbolt Ross.
Yeah, for sure. He has a very like iconic and powerful look to him, you know?
Yeah, he does. He looks like a military man. Like, he looks like in control and in charge. So he was very well cast for that role. So I think that hopefully it means a lot in the writer's room and to Harrison Ford taking up the mantle for William Hurt. And I hope that it's, done a lot of justice. And I think that that's how they'll consider it,
Yeah, we'll see. Hopefully he's more passionate about it than he is Star Wars.
Red Hulk's a really cool character. So, like, a lot of rage and like very strong. So I'd be excited to see him on screen.
Do you think we'll see Red Hulk though?
Or you think he'll just be Thunderbolt Ross? Is that what you're asking?
No, yeah.
I think we'll have to see Red Hulk.
We didn't see Red Hulk before this time.
I think we'll have to see Red
We have
Hulk
a lot
moving
of
forward.
Hulks showing up recently.
That's, in my opinion, that's too big of an actor to cast in the role of Thunderbolt Ross to not move forward with the Red Hulk storyline.
So I'm kind of putting you on the spot here, but can you tell us a little bit about Thunderbolt Ross?
So Thunderbolt Ross is, I guess I would say in a sense he's a villain of the Hulk. He's kind of, if you've seen the original movies with Eric Bana or with Edward Norton, he's kind of leading the military charge as like a general to go after the Hulk because he believes that he's out of control. He shouldn't have this responsibility. And I believe that my understanding that's fairly accurate to the comics. And in his, he's a person who's very passionate in his beliefs and does not, and believes that the Hulk is a danger to society. And in the pursuit of these beliefs, he ends up using another faltered version of the super soldier serum, becoming Red Hulk and turning into what he despises, basically.
Is he the one that helped wow, I can't think anymore. Just never mind. I lost my train of thought.
He's deeply involved in the MCU in the Sokovia Accords.
Yes.
Yeah, he's in, if that's what you were thinking, he's in Civil War as the person.
Yes.
So
Did he have anything to do with Abomination?
It's been so long since I've seen The Incredible Hulk. But I believe he plays a role in that movie. He's in an after credit scene.
Yes.
I believe.
Talking to Tony, right?
Yes. But yeah, he's prominent in these moments throughout the MCU, very important in the Sokovia Accords, and then we'll see him again in Avengers Infinity War too, talking to Rhodey. So he's kind of the military aspect that wants to control superheroes. It seems pretty anti-superhero. But
I'm all about seeing more of the Hulk, especially one that's kind of angry,
untethered.
Yeah, because we haven't seen anything like that in a long time.
Well, the other news that this made me think of, which is what I forgot. I'm so glad I remembered it. But more MCU news. Sacha Baron Cohen was cast as Mephisto.
Okay.
So do you know who Mephisto is?
Nope.
He's a villain that has been so heavily hinted at by Marvel throughout the last 4 years, and nothing's really come of it so far. So he's kind of like a villain inspired by the devil. He's commonly a villain to Doctor Strange. He has these dark demonic powers. So everyone thought he was going to be the main villain in WandaVision because there were all these hints at the devil, and there were all these small Easter eggs that everyone pieced together, oh, Mephisto's going to be running it at the end, but it turned out to be Agatha. And then in No Way Home, we see in the trailer shot, there's a picture of Peter with the horns on his head. One of the picketers has a sign with Peter with the horns on his head, which people were like, oh, that's a Easter egg to Matt Murdock's Daredevil. Oh, that's an Easter egg to Mephisto. And Mephisto is going to be the villain of this movie. It's going to be him, with all this interdimensional stuff and magic with Doctor Strange. It would make sense. He's not in that movie either. So we finally got an announcement for the casting. And Sacha Baron Cohen is a really interesting cast. I mean, we got Borat playing Mephisto here. So
yeah.
Sacha always does something interesting with every role that he's involved in. So I think that Marvel definitely has something up their sleeve with this casting. I think he'll, as always, kind of have a special twist on the character.
Oh, now that I think of it, that guy from Breaking Bad, Gus, what's his name?
Giancarlo Esposito.
Yeah, he was rumored to play this role, wasn't he?
Yeah, I think that he turned it down, which who does, who turns down a Marvel role? That's such a fat check.
Yeah, I guess that's true. Well, I think that the fans I've seen on social media and stuff have been trying to cast him as Professor X. So maybe he's holding out for a bigger role. I saw a video somewhere too that he was on stage saying, yeah, if the fans make it happen and Kevin Feige wants me to be that role, I'd be down. Let's get on a phone call with him and make it happen, kind of thing.
I feel like he's such a prototypical villain nowadays. That's such a strange pick because he's Stan Edgar in The Boys. He's Gus Fring in Breaking Bad. He's Moff Gideon, right, in The Mandalorian.
Yeah, he's always the bad guy.
And now he's going to be Professor X, the leader of a team of heroes. It'd be kind of an interesting cast.
It would be.
You think he'd shave his head?
I mean, Wouldn't you? It's a Marvel.
Yeah, to be especially that's a pretty iconic one too. Like,
yeah.
Nothing to bat your eye at.
I mean, I really like my hair, but I think if someone's going to pay me millions of dollars for a role, I'd be down to shave my head, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I guess.
So I have one more show that I want to talk about. You want to hear about it?
Tell me about it.
So I've told you about this one before, but it was earlier in the season, and now we're one episode away from the finale. This show is called The Patient. It's on Hulu. It's also on FX, and then the next day on Hulu on Tuesdays. But it comes out every week, and they have 10 episodes, so we just saw the 9th episode. It's about a psychotherapist who's working with, basically he gets kidnapped by one of his patients, and his patient turns out to be a serial killer. So this therapist is kind of chained to the floor in the basement of this killer's house, and the killer is like, I need you to fix me, kind of thing. Like, I don't want to be doing this anymore, and it just wasn't working, seeing you only once a week or however long. Like, I think I needed more, so this is why you're here. I need you to fix me. So now he's kind of forced into this awkward situation of trying to help this guy while also trying to find a way to escape. It's been pretty interesting. It's a very grounded show. It's only 20 minutes per episode, which has actually been kind of refreshing because it doesn't take that long to watch. It's not a big time commitment, but they fit a lot into the episodes to where you're like, wow, 20 minutes has already gone. So much has happened, which is always a good thing when a show or a movie makes you lose track of time.
Rather than the opposite.
Right, exactly. Yeah. And I mean, obviously it's only 22 minutes or so it's it's a quick journey, right, for each episode. But since it's so grounded in reality, the emotional impact of it really lands for me. You know, like the therapist has a lot of time to himself and stuff, so he's thinking about his wife who passed away from cancer, so he's kind of dealing through his own stuff. His son he's not very close with his son anymore, so now he's angry that he doesn't have a good relationship with his son, but at the same time he's angry at his son for what he's done. And
who's the therapist to the therapist?
Yeah, exactly. and it's interesting because later in the series you start seeing him have these like hallucinations or dreams that he is talking to his therapist, and it's a cool way to add in an extra character without him actually like being there, you know. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like his internal dialogue, which is cool to see. But yeah, a lot happens in the show. It's very interesting. I recommend watching it. Again, it has a good emotional impact. At least for me, it's pretty easy to watch. And now 9 episodes are out, and the season finale comes out the week that this episode comes out.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah.
Little cap on the end of the show. It sounds really interesting, and I haven't watched any of it yet, but I didn't think about the aspect of him also trying to treat the guy as though he's an actual patient while he's also trying to escape.
Right, he's kind of being forced to.
It's an interesting aspect. And also, just because I know off the top of my head, I will say that the patient is Domhnall Gleeson, and then obviously the therapist is Steve Carell.
Yes, exactly.
When he graces us with his dramatic acting, I think is always something special.
Yeah, it's a good twist. It's nice to see actors play different roles sometimes, you know. It's refreshing, if you will. All right. You don't have anything else that you necessarily want to talk about, right?
Nothing in particular, but I will touch on one last bit of Marvel news, which is that from what I've seen, She-Hulk Season 2 has been confirmed. So
I think I saw that too.
They should be working on Season 2 of She-Hulk, and we'll be, I'm sure, getting that in the next couple of years.
All right. Well, as long as it doesn't interfere with Blade and all these other projects that they got going on.
See how many things they can do at once.
Yeah. All right. I have a little game for us to play if you're down.
All right. Yeah, I'm always down for a game.
Wrap up the episode. So I'm going to play a score from a movie, and I want you to listen to only like 10 or 15 seconds of it, and I want you to try to guess what it is.
Okay. Yeah, I've got my radar sense, my super hearing locked
it
and ready
works
to
out
go.
great that we're dressed as Daredevil and playing a music game that was kind of by coincidence. So let me pull up my phone here. It's not recognizing my face since my face is covered. I'm going to go to our trusty Spotify here and kind of pick some songs, some scores. I'm going to lift my mask here so I can see.
Is there a limit on the amount of seconds we can play a song without?
We'll find out. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, so I'm going to pick a few and see how good you are at recognizing the songs from movies that you love. We're going to start off with this one. I don't want to say if it's easy or hard, but I want
The Batman.
Nice. That was good. So I want to start it off nice and easy.
My boy Michael Giacchino. I recognize those chords.
Yep. Now, I'm going to pick another one, but I want you to wait a little bit longer. Just so the audience can try to guess, too.
I agree. I always like that when you give the audience a chance to play the game, too, so I apologize.
Let me think of another one here. While I'm typing here, Andrew, you should sweet talk the audience a little bit, keep them entertained.
All right, guys. So I want to hear if you were able to guess these songs, or if you were able to guess rather these scores. I believe we're probably mostly gonna be playing scores from films here. A lot of people don't notice a score, which is usually a good thing. You want to feel a score rather than notice it, but it should really impact the way you experience a movie. For me, the first thing I think of is Jurassic Park.
Yes. So. How did you guess that one?
There's no way you're about to play that.
All right, here's another one. Let's see if you can recognize it.
I know what this is. I know what it is.
You know it?
I'll wait if you want me to.
And that was 15 seconds right there, Andrew.
That is Bell Bottoms from the opening of Baby Driver.
Very nice.
We just did our heist episode where I picked Baby for my team as our last episode, episode 20. Go back and check that one out if you haven't already watched or listened to it. Like we said, we're on YouTube and all podcast platforms.
All right, here's another one. Oh. Just kidding. That one says it's not available. Let's try this one here.
I mean, it sounds very like early 2000s.
So it's called Assembling the Team. It's from Fast Five.
Oh, yeah.
But it's not their main track. So that one was a hard one.
I was way off with the early 2000s then. But that to me, that sounded like some early... That sounded like some Kim Possible something.
Yeah. All right. Let me think of a kind of tough one, but I think that you'll get... Let's see about this one.
Because you know the ones that I will immediately key on. I know like my top 10 favorite movies are.
All right, let's see if you can get this one. Can you hear it?
Yeah.
It's getting there.
It's beautiful. Still don't know it.
No ideas?
It's a superhero song. Is it?
Do you want a clue? I can give you a clue.
Sure, give me a clue.
This
Is
is
it Superman?
definitely. I can give you two clues. I'll give you one at a time. So this is one of your favorite movies. I can give you another one if you need it.
That's not from the Batman movies, is it?
No.
Yeah, I didn't think it sounded like Hans. One of my favorite movies. Give me the other clue.
Christopher Nolan's the director.
Is it Inception?
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I
That was tough.
that was a good choice. I should have gotten that one.
Yeah. All right. Let me think of another one. Give me a second. So go ahead and go back to talking.
Does that mean that is Hans? Now I gotta know.
It is Hans Zimmer.
Yeah, it's just a different movie, but
Yeah. Let me see. I'm trying to
So
think.
I can say there are. I'll talk while you're looking, but there are a few ones that I feel very confident that I can recognize. Of course, I don't want the super easy ones necessarily, but some of my favorite composers are for films are John Williams. Obviously, got to go with, he's one of the goats. Hans Zimmer. He does, like we just said, Inception, the Dark Knight soundtrack. He works a lot with Christopher Nolan. He makes beautiful music. Michael Giacchino has been like doing a lot of great movies recently. Like he just did the Batman. Obviously, we had that one play already. He's got other notable works that I can't think of right now off the top of my head. But
All right. I don't know if you'll be able to get this one. This one might be hard, but it might be easy. I don't know. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, I don't know if you're gonna get this one.
Sounded like a Disney movie to me at first.
That's not the song that I thought it was gonna be. We're gonna skip that one.
It's a trick song.
Yeah, we're gonna skip that one. Let me find a different one.
So yeah, those are
This
some.
is live TV, people. Live.
You're witnessing with all the technical difficulties included.
Yeah.
But John Williams does like the most iconic, recognizable scores. If Arron were to play a John Williams score, I would be really hurt if I didn't recognize it. But John Williams does things like everybody knows, like he does Jurassic Park, Star Wars, Jaws. What's another big? He does Indiana Jones, I believe. Like if there's like an iconic score that I think he might also do E.T. But if there's like an iconic score that you strongly associate with the franchise, he's behind it a lot of the time. He is just really incredible with like an orchestra. He's a maestro. Like he kills it. But yeah, like I said, you should really like feel the music when you're watching a movie. If you feel like impending dread and you don't know why, it's because of all these cool tricks that filmmakers use, like music, like camera angles, like to trick your mind. And that's where film is really interesting as a medium, because you should be getting manipulated as an audience member, as weird as it sounds. The filmmakers and all these other people that go into developing it, cinematographer, producers, the directors, the composer, they are all in a way Harry Potter. Oh, sorry, I didn't give the audience time on that one.
That one was an easy one.
Yeah, that one was a freebie. Who composed the music for Harry Potter? Is that also John Williams? I think it is.
Yeah.
He literally everyone that slaps.
That's why I played it, because it was.
Were you gonna? If I couldn't get it, you were gonna be like, ooh.
Well, no, that one's a pretty obvious one, right?
Can't really miss that one for sure.
Trying to think of some other good movies here that have good songs, but maybe that you wouldn't recognize right away. Let me see. This one might be a good one here.
All right, we're gonna see what Aaron's queuing up next. I think I've gotten what feel like the easy ones. I know this.
You do? Like you know what it is, or you've recognized the song?
I recognize the song. I think I know what it is.
You think you got it?
Yeah.
What is it?
Wait a second. The last few chords had me second guessing. Is that Ben Affleck's Batman?
No, it is not.
Play more of it. I know what movie this is. Or I mean, I recognize it really strongly. Is this from Now You See Me?
It is!
Yeah.
Good job.
It kind of sounds reminiscent to me of like a...
That one was a tough one.
Sounds Batman-esque to me, but yeah.
All right.
I should have gone more with my gut. I second guessed myself when I...
All right, here's another one. Let's see. Well,
I love the movie Now You See Me. I've probably seen it like 5 times. The second one, not so much.
I don't want that one.
That's not a good sound.
All right, let's try this one here.
All right. Sounds like
the main one.
Sounds like a little bit of a bygone era. A little bit of 60s.
these aren't in like the order that they show up. So that was from Ocean's 12, but it wasn't the song that I was looking for. All right, well, let me find one more good one here.
A final challenge.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, let us know in the comments what your favorite score is, you know? Tell us why, and, you know, tell us who composed it. My favorite score has got to be In the Dark Knight by Hans Zimmer. I just feel like it feels very nostalgic, and I feel a huge rush of like excitement and thrill and emotions when the end of the movie, The Dark Knight, has that great speech from Commissioner Gordon, and then the music just boom, 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 swells in, like the heavy drums that he used for that song. Like it really like resonates. It kind of like I feel like it kind of like shakes like inside you, like it reverberates through you the way they choose to use the heavy bass. It like I said, it definitely like transports me back to 2008. And music has that really cool power, like to manipulate. You can't tell by the way I use my walk.
What movie?
I mean, this song's played in like tons of movies. It makes me think of The Office first, but did they play that movie at some point in Spider-Man 3? Or that song?
Ooh, maybe. I guess I should have picked one that's not in so many things.
What are you thinking of it from?
Bullet Train.
Ooh, I love that movie. It just came out recently, and I haven't had the chance to talk about it too much yet.
That's why I wanted to pick it, since you've seen it so recently.
It was really good. Have you seen it?
Not yet.
It's a good like classic action movie. Like feels like Guy Ritchie-esque.
Yeah.
Like that kind of like quick cut, cool flow comedy action is very good movie.
Yeah. Well, I think that kind of wraps it up, unless you have anything else, or if you have a game that you want us to play. I mean, this is the Let's Talk podcast, so we're just kind of hanging out, just two guys talking, or one guy if you look at it, who we're dressed up as. But yeah, we're just kind of hanging out. We didn't have that game planned. We kind of just had loose topics for this episode, you know, so we're just chilling.
Yeah, let us know what you thought about this kind of format, you know? We are making this for fun and a creative outlet, but it's also for hopefully entertaining some size of an audience. So if you can give us any critiques and let us know what to do moving forward, give us topic ideas.
Yeah, for sure. All right, Andrew, you want to close it out?
Yeah, I'm ready to close it out.
All right. So again, thank you for listening. We post every Monday and Thursday. We post on all the podcast apps. We post video versions on YouTube and Spotify, so you can see what we're dressed up as. I'll even pull my mask down now. So boom, back in character. Yeah, so we're also on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. We post a bunch of stuff there, so you can kind of interact in the comments there. We try to respond to every comment and go back and forth. So we appreciate any interactions, suggestions, and all that stuff.
Yeah, we appreciate anyone who just listens, whether you decide to interact, engage, like, follow, listen, subscribe. We appreciate anybody who's hearing this right now, or even who just starts our episodes. But thank you very much, and happy Halloween to everybody.
All right. And
that's a wrap.